Hey girl, before you get into the rest of this video, I just wanted to ask for you to just give me a smile real quick, and also I just wanted to say that I love you. So, let's go girl. Hello there. Even though no one has asked me yet or even commented on it, I am just gonna say it now. That card over there, I'm probably gonna be keeping it in the back of my videos probably for the rest of this month, but I just wanted to explain it in this video for anyone that cares, even though no one probably does. But that's the card from my mommy, a Christmas card from my mommy, and so it just makes me really happy. So I just wanted to have that in there, so it's like my mom's vibing with us as well. So yeah, before I wanted to get into this video because it's kind of like in response to somebody, but at the same time it's not. It's more so they served as an inspiration too, because I feel like this video is kind of necessary now that I've really set my presence in terms of the weekly tarot readings, right, for the zodiac signs. Now that I've gotten a pretty good flow with it, I would say now, and I kind of figured out how, yeah, I've just gotten more comfortable with it. I've just enjoyed being able to relay messages, right? It's been such a rewarding experience to just watch you guys like go through your journey and like take each week, even though I'm not taking responsibility for it because you guys are doing the work in it, for you guys to like talk to me each week about how a reading pertains to you in your life, and like, just keeping me up to date with your guys' lives and y'all's lives. And it just is it's motivating for me because I think it's so beautiful to just see, like, it's like a community of people from all walks of life, from all different countries coming together. And even you guys are like even interacting with each other now recently too, which makes me so happy. Like being able to like boost each other up too is amazing. It's like we're just a group of human beings growing together, and it makes me so happy. But it's not what this video is about. There was a I put in my latest video, it's my Aries video, I think I even put it in the thumbnails, was like, this is not for the sensitive. I'm not saying this person is sensitive in any means. I kind of just put that as a grabbing your attention, right? That's what you have to do with thumbnails, is being like, oh, I'm not sensitive, like let me click on that. But it kind of in the reading, it was foreshadowing that I was kind of like holding Aries accountable to those that resonated with the reading, and someone was triggered by it, and it was actually someone that I found. I don't remember how I actually ran into their channel, but they do tarot videos as well and other kinds of videos. And just recently, since I've been watching them, I even showed like a few of my friends. I was like, this dude is like really cool. Like I like his personality a lot. And there was like a video I was planning, and I'm still planning on doing it, that I wanted to like shout him out in it as well. Just to be like, oh yeah, like this video was inspired by so-and-so. And I still plan on doing it. I don't want to talk about it in this video just because I don't want to like have it be in a weird light, right? So wrapping that part up, right? What did he say? He was basically like, in my reading, there's something about where I said self-fulfilling prophecies. And basically what I was saying in the reading is, if you're being cynical, and this is pertaining to your love life, right? This is for singles, for those who are single as an Aries. And I was explaining with what I was seeing in the cards is that, and I like to use examples, right? So that's how I was relaying the message. But with any of my tarot readings, I always want to say, like, if you notice in any of my readings, I kind of make it an educational process, because even if you're not into tarot and you don't do tarot readings yourself, I explain the card. Like I hold up each card, I'm like, this is what this means. And then because I treat every reading as like a puzzle, I don't do like a specific spread. I treat it like I just see things as like through extremely analytical brain, and paired with my intuition, right? I've been spiritually practicing for a decade and a half now. Like I have like my own way of going about doing things, right? And especially when it comes to tarot. So it's like, explain what the magician means in whatever position. Then I will explain like what it means pertaining to this, because I'll explain why the Ace of Coins and the Magician card go together and how I'm processing that message. But regardless of how I'm processing the message or the storyline, right? I explain the cards themselves because of a very specific thing, not only because of my analytical brain and how I process the cards, but it's important, like the type of readings that I do, I like to hold people accountable, but at the same time, empower you, right? I never want an individual to put me on a pedestal, to make me feel as if like they're any different, or someone's any different or any better or lower than another individual. My type of readings is where it's like, if you're feeling a type of way, regardless of where it is, what it is that you're feeling, where your mindset is, if you come to my channel, you come to receive my readings to self-develop, right? To grow, right? I can talk to you about like what I see coming, but I talk about the cards and their definition because it's like, it's up to you to hold yourself accountable. I'm going to use a storyline of where I'm holding you accountable because that's how I process things, right? And so I'm aware of it. I'm always like catching myself when I'm doing these readings, you guys, because it's like how I process things and how I go through my, like, I have such it sounds so like corny or cheesy, but I really do have such an extreme passion for character development. I've kind of raised myself because of this. Because of like, I always like to question what it is that I'm doing. I hold my, like, it's constantly, I'm always constantly keeping my ego, like having a discussion with my ego. And so because of that, that's how it reflects in the cards. Like my personality really reflects in my tarot readings because it's like, even though I like to think I'm a pretty complex person, I feel as if like my readings really showcase how, like, the workings of my brain. And so when I see like a spread of being like, oh, like there's like a self-fulfilling prophecy with the strength card, and I don't remember what other cards came forward for me to say that, like Knight of Swords as well. And I was getting impressions as well, because that's the thing, like I never make it a thing when it comes to my spiritual practices, but like I've been doing tarot cards for like 10 years now, but before that, I was connecting to archangels, spirit guides. I was learning how to astral project. Even now, like that's my foundation of spirituality, is connecting to different deities, connecting to different beings, connecting to my spirit guides, you know, connecting to my ancestors. I don't talk about it openly, not because I'm embarrassed about it, but just because it's no one asked, right? If anyone goes to any of my live streams, I always am extremely open about my practices. But I just don't make it a conversation piece. So there's usually a reason as to why I will say specific things because of like the impressions I get. But overall, like I always will say, like, I'm just telling, like, I always speak from a place of like how I would take the reading if I pulled this set for me, right? So let's break this down, like the Tower card with the Six of Pentacles and the Hierophant. How I would break this down for like whatever the reading, if it's just like a general reading, the Tower card's inverted, and I always say with this, like these two people are coming together, but it's based off of like, and it's unique to this deck, I believe. Where it's like the normal Tower moments, like things come crashing down and you don't notice this couple coming together, right? So when it's inverted like this, it's like I see this as a change in dynamic, right? The Tower card normally represents just like drastic change, but that subtle detail of the people coming together changes the message entirely with the Six of Pentacles, right? So it's letting me know like some type of cycle is ending in terms of those who are in a relationship with somebody or connecting with somebody. There's a you know, one of those things of where it's like, let's like maybe you had a fight with your best friend, and that's what actually brought you guys together, because there's like an imbalance. You guys had to have like a real conversation, real like fight, right? And then like y'all learned from it. The Hierophant, right? That Hierophant represents higher knowledge, right? And so that's just how random, and so maybe it doesn't even provide any kind of like substance to this video, but that's just how I process things, right? And for you, like even though I speak in the narrative of like a person like crashing down, like people coming together, because I explain the cards, you can easily correlate this to your career. I'm never going to be like speak in a place of certainty with any of my readings and be like, oh, I know this in specific for you, because that's like, I'm not trying to, that's just not my place, right? That's not what I'm trying to provide these readings for. And like my general readings, it's impossible for me to go into specific details, and it's impossible for me to really flesh everything out in each video. Otherwise, because I'm long-winded, it'll be like this, and I'm like 10 minutes in, I probably haven't even talked any substance at all. But I guess that long side tangent, he was basically saying said that I was walking on thin ice, and I understand what he was saying, kind of where he was taking where I was using the example of like that self-fulfilling prophecy. And because if you're cynical about being relationships and you just feel like you're going to be single for the rest of your life, you're going to manifest that. And for some reason he took that as that's like BS or whatever. And at that point, then it was just like, it was kind of condescending, it was whatever. But my point is, I mean, I'm not wrong in it, right? And that's where I kind of wanted to make a response, is that it's like, you know, my readings are intended to trigger you, right? I hope, because I'm not going to just give you rainbows and sunshine. You know, I'm going to tell you what I see through the cards, just purely from like how I would translate the cards for myself. And I'm not trying to tell myself rainbows and sunshine. I'm trying to figure out how I can get to where it is I want to be, right? If I'm looking at the singles video, which is what this individual was responding to me with, I would be going to a singles reading for me personally, wanting a tarot reader that would be telling me what it is I need to be focusing on with myself. Get some perspective of what's going on their side of things, so I can be either A, prepared, or A and two, or B, just be able to see if there's something that I could like learn from what's going on with them, because that's how I learn best. I always like to learn from other people, like, right? Anytime I talk to anybody, I always will ask a million questions and try to be like, why did you do this? What was your thought process behind it? Because like, I'm always actively trying to learn. So with my readings, I can tell you just like, oh, great love, da 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 da, but that does you no good to hear about that if you don't know how to get to that step, like how to get to that happiness. So yeah, like it's gonna trigger you, and that's my intention. And I know that kind of comes with the territory now of where it's like, if I'm going to trigger people, I understand that some people are going to be triggered and have their own response to it, right? That just comes with the territory. But where it bothers me, or it doesn't bother me, no, it bothers me a little bit, but it's a place of like where I can understand, right? From their perspective, kind of, is that like what bothers me is just like the condescension that came with being triggered. It was like putting a responsibility on me to, they made the comment of like 80% can vibe with me, but that 20%, I have to be responsible for that 20%. And quite frankly, if you're in a mental space that you can't handle being triggered, in my opinion, you shouldn't be coming to a tarot reader. You should be going to someone that specializes in mental health and being able to connect with you. My entire channel has always just been about transparency. And I don't sit here and try to pretend like I am this like woke person who never feels bad emotion, sadness, anger. Like, I'm real as heck about what's going on, right? My intention with my channel, whether it's with my readings or whether it's with my personal videos or whatever I do on this channel, it's to just show you that it's okay to be human. It's to show you that it's okay to see where it is that you can improve on. Because that's what I do in all my videos, is like, I always try to see it from the other person's perspective and see what it is I can do to improve myself, because I'm not perfect. I know I'm not perfect, right? No one's perfect. We can always look at something to improve in ourselves. And that's how I want to teach people. I want to teach people from a place of being like, you're not alone in what it is that you're going through, right? And so if you're not in a mindset that can handle like how I process things, which I totally get it, right? I understand like my approach to things can be extremely forward, borderline offensive to some people, but it's always like that's part of my why, especially of recent years, I've tried my best to be as warm as possible and to really showcase my intention behind my interactions, because it's like I'm going to give you that confrontation, right? I thrive off of confrontation, and I'm aware that makes people uncomfortable, a lot of people uncomfortable, but I'm always going to be telling you, being like, this is what I see, this is what I think you could do to improve on it, but that doesn't mean I think of you as a lesser individual, because look here, I think I see that because of this situation that I was going through here. And so I understand a lot of people who are going to follow me on this channel are not going to quite get my personality and everything in my zodiac readings, right? Because you're going, like, I like to keep my zodiac readings quick and to the point, because we don't have like a million hours in the day to just take in a reading. I'm gonna explain to you what I see in the cards, and we just keep it moving, right? That's what my personal videos are for. And so to summarize, I guess the point of this entire video is that I'm sorry if my approach does offend you. This is, this video is necessary just because I could have this as like my homepage for anyone that is stumbling upon my channel, so they can prepare themselves for my readings and understand my style, right? It's never my intention to make someone feel lesser than, or to feel as if they're doing something wrong, because I don't think I view things as we are always constantly just doing what we think is best for ourselves in the current situation, to like for what we know, right? We're just doing the best that we know at the time, and once we know better, we do better. That's how I perceive life, and that's how I perceive everybody. And so I never point out something like a self-fulfilling prophecy, whether that's the case or not for you. Obviously you would know how to take those cards, right? I can only explain to you what each puzzle piece represents, but it's up to you to be like, okay, this part resonates, or like this analogy helps me fit to correlate with my story, right? But it's never my intention for you guys to ever feel judged or lesser than at all, because it's like, I'm not perfect. Anything that I speak on, I can speak on from a place of understanding. But yeah, it is my hope, I guess, with this video that even if you only have seen me through my zodiac readings, that if I do trigger you at some point, that's good, that's beautiful. Let's have a discussion about it. I can't promise you I'll be able to always give a thought-provoking response or like a full-on in-depth conversation, but I ask you to give me the benefit of the doubt, in that I'm never trying to hurt anybody, offend anybody, come off as if I'm better than anybody. But I'm also going to keep you in check as well. Like, let's keep things respectful, right? Let's not say that I don't know what I'm talking about when, quite frankly, you don't know if I know what I'm talking about or not, right? This is YouTube. We only present what it is that we want to present, right? And even with my channel, I'm pretty open about what it is I've gone through, and I have a pretty good understanding, but I also don't need to feed my ego or prove something, being like, oh, I understand this because of da-da-da-da-da, right? Again, I don't ever have this discomfort with talking about anything in my life, but it has to be asked first. Like, I'm not going to ever just talk about things just to talk about things, because that's just not in my nature. So if I do trigger you, let's have a discussion about it. But don't project what's going on inside. Don't project that onto me. And even if you are going to project that onto me initially, that's fine, but let's keep it respectful, because I always, I do confrontation, it's because I care, and I will always give you that tough love, but baby, like, I will keep you, like, I do not entertain being disrespected, because I'm always coming from a place of love and trying to respect everybody else. So it's just like, it's uncalled for to speak down towards me or anybody, because we're all human, right? we can acknowledge that we can have different viewpoints without feeling like we are above another individual, or feeling as if we know something more, or they just are not aware of something. You know, it's just like, let's not make it about let's just talk about perspective and see if we can have a conversation, you know. And I understand it's unrealistic for everyone to just feel open to having a conversation about it, but yeah. This is such a long-winded video, but if you did make it through, I hope that this video gives a little bit more perspective for any of my readings now. Maybe like I could work better at giving you guys a better understanding of everything. But yeah, this is just a learning experience. I just was super grateful. Honestly, it kind of hurt, and I was just like, oh man, because I was like, it was in the reading and I didn't anticipate. They posted a pick a card, and it was like a pick a card that I was planning. Like, someone asked me in the comments about like a week ago, asking me to do more pick a card, like just another pick a card. And since that is like something I started with on here, I wanted to do one. And mental health was something I wanted to talk about, just because as like y'all knew, like my mother, like with everything going on with my family recently, I was like in a I was in a really dark spot, like especially a couple of weeks ago. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah. And then like when you started talking in the beginning, and I was just like, oh wait, you're talking about me, hold up. No, yeah, honestly though, I'm grateful for having heard it, just because it gave me a wake-up call more so than anything, of being like, oh, like I guess I can't expect people to understand where it is I'm coming from in my approach unless I put something out there, right? And so I truly am not upset about like the comment of like sharing your perspective on it. I mean, I'm still kind of giving a side eye of the the condescension. Maybe it was unintentional though, right? I'm sure there's no reason to like right, like this is how I'm processing it. I'm keeping my ego in check and just assume, like, you know, I was assuming that they're being condescending, but maybe it just wasn't their intention on being condescending either. But you know, let's just keep things respectful. Let's not assume things. Let's give each other the benefit of the doubt, and let's, at the end of the day, see each other, hear each other, and love each other. Thank you so much for listening to me. Bye guys.